want to talk a bit about wholeness. And in speaking about wholeness, about tensegrity, tensional integrity, the experiential and the physical aspects of this. When I want to feel whole, what is it that I might be attempting to feel into? If we don't feel whole, what might be missing? So this model speaks to wholeness. And this is tensegrity icosahedron. Icosahedron is the shape. Tensegrity is the nature of the tensional integrity by which it's held together. These little elastic bands here run throughout the whole. There is throughout it a tensional continuity. It's contiguously tensional. There's tension everywhere. And it holds these sticks in relationship to each other. You can see it can be on any side, it can be in any shape, it's pretty resilient. If I pull two of these sticks apart, other sticks pull apart. If I push them together, the other sticks go together. And so there's this universal tension within the system. There is also localized compression. The bands are pulling on these pieces of wood and pulling them on themselves, right? So this end of the wood is pulled towards this end of the wood. And because the wood is hard, it doesn't collapse. It's a local compression and universal tension. And what that does is keep these sticks held in relationship. They're not touching and they don't fall apart. So I can put this on any side and it stays in relationship. This is a model for the body. Biotensegrity is this tensional integrity in living things. Now, if we think about a building, like this building that I'm in, if we were to turn this on its side, the building, it would just fall apart. And that's because it's a stack, right? The pieces are stacked with gravity. So it lacks this tensional component that holds it together. In regard to wholeness, what's astounding about a tensegrity structure is that it's self-contained. So you could take this structure, launch it into outer space, and it would still remain whole. It can be in any relationship to gravity and remain whole. In thinking about wholeness, I like to remember I'm not bleeding out. and this would seem so simple, right? Like, well, of course you're not. But if I did bleed out, I would die. And what bleeding out would be is that my water, which is contained, stopped being contained, right? I would no longer have that container. And so I have an edge, right? The edge of the skin. And then the water is housed in the tensional network, in the blood, but also in the cells and in the interstitial fluids, in all these various kind of bags of water that are contained in this tensional framework. So when I think about wholeness, I'm interested in how do we prove things to ourselves? Like, I'm not a big fan of, repeating some saying to myself over and over again, I am whole, I am whole, I am whole. That's never worked for me, because then what I'll do is try to prove myself wrong. I'll go, well, how is that not true? How am I lying to myself? The thing about an experience like tensegrity is it's the nature of the structure. So then I can prove to myself that I'm whole simply by rolling around on the ground, simply by walking around. There's the observation of the experience of that containment and wholeness that is this ability to be on any surface. I could be on my head. There I am on my head, and I'm still whole, right? I haven't fallen apart. And that's kind of miraculous. It's a wonderful thing to get to tune into.